Welcome to CCRPG, where we open up our virtual table and play games with some good friends. I'm Bob, and I'll be running Lancer, an RPG by Miguel Lopez and Tom Parkinson-Morgan. You can find it at Massive Press on itch.io. Our pilots have arrived, finally, at the site of the upcoming meeting between Kolyan of the Ruined Chain and Contraterrene. After successfully making it past a periapsis trap in our last session, the DBC crew find themselves at the edge of the Creo system. The meeting is to take place within an asteroid field an hour or so downwell. Today, while the gate is on, so both parties don't feel boxed in. Where are the pilots as we return to our session today?
How much time has passed? Since...
It took you, close to like a work day's worth of time to get through the last system and to teleport here. So, to cross system to come to here. So you can assume that where we left off last time was, you guys getting ready to just motor over for a little bit longer, and maybe like 7 or 8 hours have passed.
All right. Yeah. And excuse me.
You guys all did your downtime actions and stuff. This is all post your downtime actions and whatnot.
Yeah. So I was just gonna say, I think Astro would be on the bridge consulting with, consulting. Wow. I just had a total Torsay. I had a brain fart. I couldn't remember her name. Consulting with Torsay. And like checking the status of the probes he launched, during his downtime activity, seeing if they're picking up any activity, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. You, as you were kind of sublighting through the last system on your way here, there were no pings. You were, not followed as far as you're aware, based off of your scan net that you set up behind you. Resultingly, you've had no, surprises between then and here. You all got through your downtime actions without interruption, and you successfully arrived at the Creo system without any trouble.
And did we put Kolyan on board our ship? I think we talked about.
Yes, he has come over again on his kind of like ship to ship. Boarding vessel. So he's on board again with you. You can probably assume that if you've arrived at the end of this edge of the system of Creo and are getting ready to go down well for the meeting, he's probably on the bridge with you.
So I'll after I do another status check of the probes and the scan net we left behind with Torsay, I'll turn to Kolyan and I'll say, well, looks like we haven't been followed, so that's a good sign. We are ready to go as soon as you are.
All right, so far so good. The meeting place I already gave you the coordinates for if we just head in. We should be arriving first, I believe. Contraterrene should arrive at around the same time, but...
All right. We'll start going in.
All right. Then I'll take us in.
All right. A lot of you start, hitting sublight to head from the edge of the Creo system down well towards the asteroid field. From what you've been able to determine, kind of based off of, what you know about this system, is Creo's kind of like a used up system that has remnants of prior Cygnus outposts. Now there's mostly just small remnant populations on various planetoids and moons here. There's no large settlements in this system. But there's many small celestial bodies, not much of note. And the specific asteroid field that you are navigating to right now just happens to be one close to the edge of the gravity well created by the system's star. Kind of like the space equivalent of like a nondescript back alley, so to speak, right? Like there's not a lot of through traffic in this system.
So a good place for us to get mugged as well.
True. Yes. So we know that Astro and Rock are up in the bridge. Where are Evelene and Dyne?
I assume that Evelene and Dyne are probably down in the hangar, because I know Evelene was trying to work on modifying her
the grappling hook system.
yeah, the grappling hooks to work with the asteroid. So I assume Dyne's probably helping her do that.
Yeah, I would imagine there has to be some sort of module that actually like sets things up, and we can't really set it up till we get there. So like maybe there's like a launching probe or something that just like launches all of the grappling hooks everywhere.
Yeah, so Dyne's helping her program that, and meanwhile he tasked Artemis with kind of like a job, because he's like, okay, Artemis, there are going to be asteroids everywhere. I need you to kind of focus on how to if they think that they can hide behind the asteroids, let me know. We'll blast through them.
I think that would be an excellent exhibition of the power of the system. We should probably try to do that even if they aren't hiding behind the asteroid. Perhaps we should position ourselves so we can do that on purpose.
I mean, well, if we go all out, I don't think the asteroids will be a problem. They just won't be there afterwards.
Hopefully. Asteroids can sometimes be larger than you would expect.
Well, we'll find out.
I mean,
but
if you gotta get a little
prepared.
creative with it, just I nervously look toward Dyne as I say this. We'll trust your judgment.
It would be nice if there's some trapped volatile elements inside so that it would explode as well.
Dyne rolls his eyes. I think we've had experiences with that on the last planet we set off an explosion. That time, Astro almost died. So let's not have. Let's make sure if we're blowing that up that we're not quite near it.
Look, I'll tell you what. I will attach a grenade to one of the the devices. So like that one will explode when it hits a Metamech.
Man, that's gonna be a big damn grenade.
I mean, I imagine they're like Lancer-sized grenades, not us grenades.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I'm just imagining that is a big damn grenade.
It's like a basketball. If a basketball was a grenade, that's what I imagine a Lancer grenade would be sized.
All right.
Dyne really is the epitome of the meme, I'm a doctor, but while cocking a gun, isn't it?
I mean, yes.
I'm a doctor when the situation suits it, but there haven't been many situations that have suited my need. Therefore, I require another profession.
That makes him the opposite of McCoy, then. Damn it, I'm a doctor, not a blah blah blah.
What was the last time you doctored, actually?
When you guys were almost dead, right off.
Oh, yeah.
Last mission.
Just like less than 24 hours ago.
Yeah,
Wow.
within the last day.
Okay, for
What
the
a
record,
thankless job.
for the record, it's been some time since our last recording session.
I remembered.
Chuck
Dyne.
dating us yet again.
Dyne just looks at Evelene. Man, you must have got hit harder than I thought. Maybe I should take another exam.
Look, it's just a little bit of a load when I wake up in the morning. It's fine.
Maybe you should lay off whatever that thing is you call alcohol.
Look, it just because... Fine.
Sardine juice.
Okay, no, we're not doing that.
I'm half convinced it's alcohol mixed with engine degreaser, but maybe I'm wrong. Certainly tastes like it.
All right, so we know where our pilots are as we start heading down. Dyne and Evelene are working on, just putting the fine tuning on Evelene's idea for kind of like a asteroid roping launching mechanism of some sort, just in case. Always have a weapon of extreme threat, just in case, I guess. And Astro and Rock are up on the bridge getting ready to pull in. The Relst, which is Kolyan's flagship, is accompanying you as you head down well towards the asteroid field. He has it kind of like taking the lead, and you guys are flying escort for it. Tell me if the plan has changed, but is the plan still to say that he is on board that ship, or are you just going to be like, no, he's on board here with his bodyguards, and also his flagship is here?
I'm still good to say he's on the other ship just as a extra security measure.
Okay. When it's time to go over to the Contraterrian ship for negotiations, what ship is he going to leave from to go there?
Well, okay. At that point, once we're ready to actually transport him, I'll radio the other ship, and I'll say, actually, he's on our ship. We were just broadcasting news on the other ship as a security measure.
Okay, so you're just gonna be, completely honest with them, kind of like show up with the facade intact, and then when the time comes, be like, yeah, it was a facade, of course,
It was a ruse.
Yeah,
it was a facade over a more secure channel, I assume.
Right. Yeah. Once you get there and they don't open fire on you immediately, you could be like, yeah, don't worry about it. All right. So yeah, you pull in. The space debris here is tightly packed. There are, very few actually inroads that the Relst and the DBC can take into this field to kind of avoid collisions. Of course, space is still big, so you're able to find, area to like navigate them in, but it's definitely not a straight shot. You almost have to like maneuver the ships in rock to like get towards the heart of this field. The debris itself varies in size from anywhere from you'd imagine from like the size of your hand all the way to asteroids practically the size of half the DBC, so like 4 to 5 times the size of your max. So it's space debris. And as you loop your way in, it's not hard to navigate, but yeah, I mean, if someone was flying full speed in here, it would be dangerous.
Yeah.
So I'm flying at full speed right here.
You do have that show off skill trigger.
I mean, if you want to, we can set some stakes and determine how it turns out.
What would you gain? You'd show up and
the other guy would get intimidated. Yeah, you'd get what's the phrase? You'd get bragging rights. That's the word.
Yeah.
You can call base.
Man, did you hear about those crazy people who flew max speed through an asteroid field and didn't get destroyed?
All right, so you guys head towards the heart of the field, and as you get there, there is kind of an area that's noticeably, a little bit freer of debris that has been marked for you on your navigational systems based off of the data Kolyan gave you. That is the rendezvous point. So you kind of head closer to those navigational coordinates. The Relst comes to a stop. You come to a stop alongside of it, and you're just waiting for a little bit until Contraterrian shows up.
All right. I'll ask like Torsay to do a scan of the surrounding area, to see if everything is all above board.
Yeah, she'll just type away the computer. Yeah, right away. I can see why you'd want to do something in here if you want it to be secret. Our signals are bouncing all over the place. Still on our long range scanners, though, I can tell. Looks like our guests have shown up. I see some contacts arriving at the edge of the system that are heading this way now. They should probably show
Okay.
up within the next 30 minutes or so.
Are we waiting here for them?
Yep, we are.
Kolyan
how many?
crosses his arms and nods. He goes, yeah, this is the rendezvous point. Once they arrive, we'll send our greetings to them and make arrangements to start the negotiations.
How many ships are in their party?
I assume you're asking this to
Torsay.
Torsay. It just looks like one.
Okay.
Oh,
Dyne will send a message up to the bridge.
One
and I'll
big
go,
ship.
And he'll go, do you want us to go out and set up the system that Evelene and I have put together just in case we get ambushed? I don't think we're going to have many other chances.
Yeah, it's good to be prepared.
I mean, I was gonna do it anyway, even if he said no, so that makes it all the better. I
Well,
guess.
Dyne's going to go out and help you set it up to speed up the process.
Ah, okay.
All right. So you guys space out. No, this is a mech size thing. I assume you're doing this like actually in your mechs.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
working on this. So yeah, you guys you go out. You find just kind of a location towards your retreat line. You know, in the part of the asteroid field that's a little bit more densely packed. That's along the line that the DBC and the Rels would have to take if it was leaving the asteroid field. You find some prime candidates. What size asteroid are you looking to attach this to, Chimera?
I think, and you're gonna have to tell me the capabilities of the system because we haven't really talked about it too much. I was hoping for like anything at least mech size or larger because like that's basically what it's been designed for anyway.
Yeah, so we're calling this the ability to use bombardment, right? That's what I gave you for doing this. So it's a blast 2. That's a pretty large size, right? For that bombardment. So I would say,
Good thing they attach those grenades, I guess, for the last part.
well, we'll say that it's like kinetic damage instead of explosive, but otherwise it'll remain the same. I'd say, yeah, probably you could attach it to an asteroid approximately double your size. So like a size 2 asteroid.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just set up on a bunch of those, I guess.
All right. Yeah, you can go ahead and set that up. Now, remember, I'm giving you the ability to use this once if you need to use it, if like a battle were to break out or something. So even if you narratively are setting it up on multiple asteroids, if it's going to be used during combat, we'll assume that it is, whatever one you were able to use this with is whatever ones that was closest by or is relevant to the combat you're in, if that takes place. Does that make sense?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, narratively, it'll be whatever one happens to be around will make it work, but you can have it set up so that no matter which way you go, there's one available to you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
And as I guess, so Artemis is able to activate this remotely, I guess, from wherever she's based inside of Dyne's mech, I guess.
Yeah, you guys.
Yeah, that was something you said I could do.
Trigger.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So we'll just say that if you feel that you want me to use it, just tell me, because I believe it's is it a quick action
No,
or is it a full action?
It is a full action.
Is a full action? Okay.
But because you gave it to Artemis, and I don't expect this to come up, but it'd be funny if it did. Even if Dyne is not in his mech, Artemis as a full action would still be able to use the bombardment.
Yes, that's what I was hoping for. And what I'm getting at though is I like to tell Artemis a code word in case because if we're in a situation where we don't want them to know we're doing this, let's have a way of saying that we want to do this. So I'll tell her. This is
like a code word?
Yeah. This is your fault, Jeremy. Sardine juice. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I'm like, okay, fine. That's what we're using now, isn't it?
Dyne just kind of looks like, I assume he's still in the mech. He just kind of looks at Evelene's mech, shakes his head, face palms, and then goes, I guess that's the code word, Artemis.
What's funny is as Evelene talked, you saw like a waveform appear on your screen where Artemis's where Artemis's like embodiment usually appears on your screen that kind of like matched Evelene's waveform when she said sardine juice, and then it isolated the waveform, and you see a bunch of little like points of data like examining the waveform, and you just hear Artemis's voice go, acknowledged.
The good thing is no one's gonna say that accidentally.
That's the point.
It's a good thing that happens to not be an expletive that Evelene uses very often.
Oh, sardine juice.
You just have to worry if Curry wanders into the mech hangar and be like, "Oh, your stuff spilled in the vents and there's sardine juice everywhere."
Somewhere
off in the
Artemis
distance, Artemis activates the meter.
Yeah, somewhere Artemis acknowledged, and you just see a fucking asteroid fly across the field.
You can actually buy that Artemis is just listening to every like channel and waveform possible for someone to say sardine juice.
Scanning.
Like
Someone's gotta say it sooner or later.
Artemis is smart enough to like understand the context, but it will just use any excuse to blow up the asteroid.
She decided that she wants to follow the letter of the law, not the spirit of the law, so she turns on a radio and starts scanning to piece together waveforms. I'm going to hear this code word whether they want it or not. Hey, I mean, if she was to go rogue AI, that's something they would do. So, we'll see. I'm just going to keep threatening you with the concept that Artemis can become unshackled at any point, guys. Just know that that's a possibility.
It's a scary thought, for sure.
Every single time that I get structured, that's a possibility. Yep. Mm-hmm. I'm fully aware.
Not worrying at all.
Have you told any of us this is a thing?
I assume that you guys have basic AI knowledge that they can be unshackled if enough damage is done to whatever structure they're in.
So no. So no, he hasn't told you.
No, I don't expect us to know that at all.
I assume at least Astro understands this because he has experience, and probably Rock, because Rock's experience with military. He probably have some form of AIs, but he probably doesn't know about Evelene.
No, I have no idea. I just assume that she's just a mischievous little scamp who will never screw us over.
Well, here's hoping we survive long enough for me to level up to the next license level, and I can remove that possibility.
So in my head, when you said mischievous little scamp, I imagine Artemis as that little girl smiling evilly in front of the burning building.
Oh, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking of.
That's perfect.
Yeah, except replace the burning building with a melting mech.
Yeah, pretty much.
Why not both?
All right. So, after a little while, a large ship, and by large, I mean like a size category larger than either of the ships you two brought. Not quite like a capital ship like you were being threatened with when you were being chased by the corpse. So this isn't like Star Destroyer levels, right? This is more like, we're in like a small freighter ship, and that is like a military dreadnought, right? Like this is some serious hardware that showed up here, and it makes sense why there's only one of it, right? It doesn't probably need that much to be intimidating to you guys. But it is small enough still to just barely navigate through the asteroid field without disturbing too much. It is sleek and purpose-built looking. It is almost like if someone took a office building and put it on its side and put engines on it. You can tell that this is one of those like ships where they take like the amount of space used in its construction and the amount of materials used to build it very seriously. But that is offset by immediately as it gets within range for it to do so, Torsay is just throwing scans at it, right? Just kind of like normal thing when a ship comes into view, like get as much info on it as possible. And everyone who's on the bridge, so Rock, Kolyan, Astro, you start to see readouts of just a tremendous amount of military hardware on the exterior of the ship. So while the hull itself looks very purpose-built and generic, the outside of this ship is just covered in turrets and missile tubes and point defense cannons and things like that. It is porcupine-ish in terms of how defensive it is.
I'd like to ask Kolyan, if you don't mind me interrupting.
Oh, please.
Are they being purposefully showy, or is this just who you were expecting and who you're negotiating with? Because I don't think we're going to be able to, be as intimidating as they are.
Kolyan smirks a little bit with his hands like clasped behind his back in like parade rest. He's like, well, I imagine, if I had to guess, this is probably a bargaining tactic. They know that that's what we're looking for, hardware and support. Seems like they're trying to show off that they have everything we could need, and at the same time showing that they obviously have the upper hand here.
Glad I'm not going into those negotiations. I mean, good luck, but...
Thanks. Well, you all done your jobs admirably. You got me here, and even with the delays, we arrived on time. This is my sphere. I have to do my part now.
Yeah, in fact, that's something you can lord over them. We were first.
Something tells me they aren't going to be too impressed, but if it comes up... So yeah, as it comes within range, he just consults with you and Astro a little bit more as it's making its way to the interior meeting point where you guys are at the kind of nav point. So, what's the plan? We had discussed a couple of different options. You possibly coming with me into the ship as bodyguards, or I could take mine. And he motions to the two bodyguards you've become familiar and friendly with during the course of this mission. Or I can go with just the two bodyguards I told them initially. If you want to stay out here and watch for outside interference, I'm interested to see where you think you'd be most helpful here. Of course, your contract doesn't extend to the negotiations. Just getting me here safely and out safely will be just fine.
Well, I feel like it would be a waste of a job not to at least make sure the negotiations go smoothly and you remain safe for the duration. I think we are probably most useful on our ship, ready to board our mechs if there's any outside interference. And your two bodyguards, and I take a look at them, seem very capable, I might say. Aren't they huge guys?
No, they are
I
not.
thought they were.
One of them is.
Yeah.
So Cord is the large one you're thinking of. He's, wearing kind of like light regimental attire, right? It's not exactly a uniform so much it is like kind of matching a theme, and it is like traditional in terms of like fit and like not showy or flashy in any way, but he has these like wavy tattoos all up and down his arms that come up the sides of his neck and into the back of his neck a little bit. And he's the kind of guy, he's built large and short, right? And he just looks like a square of muscle.
Stout guy.
Yeah. He's like a space dwarf. And he's just like this very affable, always has this huge smile whenever he's talking to you kind of guy. The other person with you is Bargain Fraction. That is Kolyan's second and bodyguard. She is a lot more lithe, tall, very almost like a hawk, right? Like looks like could pounce at any moment. She's constantly on like a hair trigger in terms of like reactions and stuff like that. She's also the one who's done most of the strategy with you all during the course of the mission.
Okay. Well, and I'll also say to Kolyan, but of course we're at your service. If you would feel more comfortable with some of us accompanying you along with your bodyguards, we'd be happy to oblige.
No, I think you have the right of it. I'll head over in our boarding vessel, and we'll start the negotiations. We'll let you know if anything comes up.
All right.
This is out of context, and it's been a while. But didn't we get some information that could be used in the negotiations?
You did.
Oh, good call.
Did we want to give that to him? I don't remember. I remember us getting it, but I don't remember who got it and what it was. I think was it Rock or was it Astro?
It wasn't me. My thing was setting up this.
Because this was before the gate. It's been a while.
I don't think it was me.
Was it me
Was
then? This was before our last downtime actions.
Yeah. It was the actions leading up to the gate, I believe.
I still don't think it was me because the previous downtime actions I did was I think I was trying to figure out like the defenses on the gate station. Was it Chuck?
I'm checking my reserves, and I usually
me.
keep that in my like reserves.
Oh yeah, let me
section.
check
It's
my
not
reserves.
there.
Maybe it was me. Shit.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm pretty sure it's you, Astro.
Yeah. I'm
Because
starting to remember a little bit.
Didn't you talk to Jeremy's contact, and he gave you some information on Contraterrene?
That sounds familiar. Let me
Because
yeah, let me
remember,
look.
you put him in touch with your agent.
I did. Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Yeah, and then it gave us some information from that. Okay, so let me just see if I have any information in my reserves. Where are my reserves? I'm looking at CompCon.
I don't see the player side, so someone help him with where reserves are on your sheet.
Oh, I found them. Knowledge.
Okay.
Okay, well, that's real helpful. I put knowledge, but no other information. Okay. Sad Price is Right noises. So was it anything specific, or was it just like a reserve of knowledge that can be used in the negotiation?
I'm pretty sure it was a reserve of knowledge about how they operate and how they prefer to do things to like maintain like good relations with them, right? So it's kind of like a more like a dossier on how to interact with them to not piss them off, right?
Okay,
like,
so
almost like
yeah.
Here's what their internal culture is like if you want to make sure that you aren't seen as like some dumb outsider kind of thing.
So let's say when I had received some of that information, I compiled a little like
dossier.
Yeah, or like a deck or something, and I'll say to Kolyan, I received some information from a contact of Dyne's about how best ways to interact and negotiate with these people. I'll send it to your terminal. It's probably something you don't need, but maybe it's a helpful reference.
Kolyan accepts it gratefully and is like, well, I assume that this was almost like, you may have gone over some of this stuff with him already on the journey. So that he may have prepared
for
a
sure.
little bit. But he he has like some stuff he's taking with him to the meeting. He looks the way he did before, kind of like, a ship's captain, like has a very, uniformed look to him, even though he too is not really wearing a military uniform, but is, just made himself up in such a way that he looks very professional. And he has with him, kind of like a dossier that he has, and actually like some sort of like odd briefcase that he brought on board with him this time. He did not have this the last time that he came on board your ship.
What's in the box?
But is it chained to his arm?
It is handcuffed to his wrist. It is.
Oh wow. Comet looks at it curiously, but there's an internal like debate going on in his head. Like, would it be rude to ask? Should I just let it go? Is it a
What
bomb?
did my last character who I played that had this problem do? He did nothing. Okay, let's move on. The true method actor.
Yeah. He decides to let it go. Yeah, exactly. So he just kind of looks at it curiously, and he's like, well, if there's anything else you need, let us know. We'll be on standby. And after the negotiations are over, do you require anything else?
It's getting us out of here safely. Once we, get back to a population center where we can part ways, we'll wire you your payment for the mission, and we can part on good terms.
Excellent. All right. Well, don't let me keep you.
Well, let's see what our new guests have to say as you see this large ship pull into the kind of like open area where the nav coordinates are.
Are you guys still on the bridge, or did you leave at this point?
I assume they're still on the bridge with you, so you would have heard this conversation behind you. Jay, did you have anything to say about that?
No.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to clarify. Got it. Okay. Torsay will just say, yep, there they are. The Relst is pinging, is wiring us a signal that they were sent from the other ship. Should I pull it up?
Yeah.
All right. So on the screen comes up an image that is like a close-up face image of whoever is on the opposite ship. There is the person on the screen just like nods curtly at the screen as it comes up and just says, "My name is Talayla, and I am from Contraterrene. I am here to meet with your representative for the ruined chain. I assume that you're on board and ready for our meeting. I don't imagine this should take too long." She is you only see like the kind of like shoulders up view of her, but you can tell that she's wearing like a dark suit jacket with like a floral patterned dress shirt underneath of it. She has like dark hair pulled back with like a clip in it. But more notably to you all is that from her left ear to midway across her face are black tattoos in like an abstract blocky pattern that kind of like stretch across her face. Kolyan steps forward, accepting the call on your behalf. I assume you don't stop him, Astro, as he kind of like steps into the like captain's position.
My ship. You can't talk.
Kicks him to the side.
Hey, I answer the phone here.
I'm the star of the show.
Kolyan? No, this is Astro.
This is Astro, and I'm going to be the best space mercenary ever.
But yeah, I won't interfere.
Kolyan steps up. He just stands at attention. Is just like, "Yes, this is Kolyan of the Ruined Chain. I am ready for our meeting. We are actually currently on board our escort ship. We will be disembarking with a boarding ship from here, and I will meet you on board. Hopefully, we can have some good negotiations." The person on screen, Talayla, just like nods and says, "Right, well, we'll expect you presently. Be sure to hurry up. We don't want to take too much time today. Other, more important business, you understand." And then the screen just cuts off.
What a bitch.
Yeah, that was a little rude.
Kolyan sighs and just goes, "This is going to be some effort, I see." Well, they weren't going to send a representative that was going to make us feel too at home. We are asking for quite a bit, but he pats the briefcase he has with him. "I have a few surprises for them."
Astro looks again more curiously at the briefcase, and then he's like, "Well, I'm sure you're up to the task."
"All right, well, I'll be in contact if we need anything." "All right, let's go." He turns to his two subordinates as they leave the bridge.
Once they leave, I'll say to Rock, "Do you think that's a bomb?"
Yeah. Probably.
Well, the way he's free to negotiate whatever way he wants to. It's not our business.
Torsay spins around in her chair and just says, if the guy that we were brought here to escort blows up, though, do we still get paid?"
Astro strokes his chin. He's like, good question. We better
Well,
be.
I don't actually think it's a bomb, but I like the idea of Astro thinking things are bombs, because he might be a little bit safer then.
I feel like he's been in many movies
okay.
where that is the case.
So,
I also like the idea of us getting paid for information we're given to our potential rivals in the future, Astro.
I do. Yes, I do. I do like the idea of getting paid.
As I raise an eyebrow, looking at you.
Torsay sighs. "Well, hopefully at least good relationship with the ruined chain is helpful."
Just kick my feet up, put a towel over my face, and just lay back.
All right. Well, let's just be on standby. Torsay, let me know if you detect anything unusual or anything approaching the airspace here. I'm gonna go to my quarters for
All
some
right.
R&R.
I'll keep periodic scans going to watch for any ships entering the edge of the system.
Alrighty.
He's gonna go to his quarters for some me time. Flips on an Astro Jamin movie. Which movie did I see that briefcase scene from?
Yeah. He's gonna do some research.
On how to act in situations where a briefcase is involved.
Yeah.
He watches a movie where someone puts a briefcase on a table and flips it open. It's like, no, that's not useful. I need someone who's carrying a briefcase, not someone opening a briefcase.
Yeah. They need to be handcuffed to the briefcase.
What's the password for briefcases? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh wait, wrong movies. Is that Spaceballs?
I watch Pulp Fiction.
But what? He watches Pulp Fiction confused, but what's in the briefcase?
It's a golden light.
Yeah, just confused by the end of it. All right, so yeah, you guys spend some time hovering in space, just kind of on Overwatch. The ship in front of you is very large and imposing, but between you and the Relfs and the other ship here, and the vast expanse of asteroids, space feels a little bit cozier, and by that I mean claustrophobic in ways that it doesn't always, because you have a bunch of large ships in a small area where normally as you're traveling you just have vast expanses of emptiness to deal with. But if you don't look outside the ship, then you don't have to think about that as much. It is about an hour later when you get a message from Kolyan. It is just like an update message. You all know that the gate will be on all day. So you got here like right at the beginning of the gate opening. You were there like as it opened. You came to the system and went to the meeting place. So you got hours yet. But he did inform you before that he wanted to wrap up this meeting. Both sides did before the gate closed, so that no one feels too penned in by anything. But yeah, Kolyan sends over just a message for addressed to Astro. That Astro, when you read it, just states the negotiations are going decently. They've shown some interest, but also are questioning whether or not we're worth the investment. I'm hoping that after we come back from this short rest, that I'm going to be able to drop my ace in the hole and win them to our side. This shouldn't take too much longer, so be prepared to receive us, in another hour or so.
Asher's eyes go wide. He's gonna use the bomb.
That's one way to blow up negotiations.
Asher will just send a reply back saying, "Good, glad to hear it. Best of luck to you."
All right. What are you all doing for the approximately 2 hours while this meeting is taking place?
I'm taking a nap on the bridge.
Nice.
Tuna fish sandwich. I almost said salad. We don't have salad. We only have sandwich ingredients.
Dyne is also
does a
eating,
tuna
but
salad
nothing
have
that
any salad in it, though?
No, it doesn't. I didn't.
Well, no,
need
there's
to
a difference.
correct him.
Tuna fish salad, like the parts that make it a salad, as opposed to just straight tuna fish, is what I'm getting at.
Okay, so when you make a tuna sandwich, you're just putting actual tuna on bread and eating it, and nothing else.
Yes.
Assumed he was making a tuna salad sandwich.
That's what I assumed too, but now I have to rework my entire mental image of this.
That's why I'm here.
I'm not happy about this, Chuck.
Oh,
Look,
boy.
we've been not been doing too well in terms of the food department. Maybe this
Alright.
money will help us get some better food.
After a little bit of time, you get Torsay comes to contact you, Astro. Oh, no,
Okay.
she doesn't. No, she talks to Dyne, not Dyne. She talks to Rock first. Because Rock's right there in the helm with her. Torsay goes, "Hey, Rock, I have a question for you if you're awake."
Huh? What?
Hey,
What's up?
I wanted to run past you first before I talk to Astro about it to see if I could get someone else to agree with me. Ever since we've been operating out here, information's been at a premium, and so I did a thing, and we might be able to get something out of it if I'm allowed to use it.
Yeah, I don't really know how to answer that.
So I bugged Kolyan when he came on our ship.
Oh, like bugged him.
Yeah. So I bring it up
Do we have to-
now because if I download the data, we could have a full transcript of what's happening at that meeting over there. If we want to, I don't know, sell it later.
Do we need to wait for him to come back to download it safely, or?
I mean, it would only take, if we do it when he says the meeting is over, I could do it remotely. There's only a small chance someone might notice.
Yeah, I mean, we should probably check with the boss before we do that.
But he might say no, and I wish he would say yes.
I mean, it's a concern, sure. let's see what he says first, and then we can make a decision.
Okay.
Let's see what he says, and then we can decide if we want to ignore him.
So what you're saying is no means yes, and yes means yes.
So this determines if we have to cut Astro in, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, after a little while, I imagine, Astro works his way, around the ship, doing various other things. The next time you're on the bridge, Astro, you notice as you walk in, Torsay spins to meet you and kind of like says conspicuously to Rock, "Hey, the captain's back."
How about that?
Astro's
Hey.
like, I'm back.
Yeah.
Astro, we bugged Kolyan and can download the data and use it later, should we?
That was a rather. Oh, she just looks flustered.
Astro just blinks a few times, and he's like, what did you say?
It's really more of a yes or no kind of question.
You
That,
bug Kolyan? Hold on, back up. When did this happen?
That's a really good question. At some point when he was on our ship?
Who bugged him? You? I look at Rock.
Did I bug him?
No.
No, I'm like, I say that like to Torsay.
Oh, you say it like out loud. And
Like,
Torsay,
what story are we
like,
gonna tell Astro?
Looking around, and she just goes.
This is her out if she wants it, basically.
She sighs and goes, "No, when they were coming on board from the ship and I met them at the airlock, I slipped it into his lapel."
Oh, okay. Wow. Let me just process this. Torsay, you shouldn't be doing these things without consulting me first. You could have put the mission at risk.
There was a very small time frame that I had to make a decision, and I made a decision. And she shrugs at you.
Well, I do like, I do want the crew to feel independent, but that was an awfully big risk you took. What if he had found out? That could have jeopardized everything.
Honestly, it's his fault for getting bugged in the first place. I don't know why he'd be upset by that.
Yeah, what he said.
Well, he's bugged now. So you're suggesting we download the transcript of the negotiations?
Yeah.
What good will that do us?
I mean, this is a secret meeting at the edge of the sector between one of the power players of the sector and one of the primary players in the next sector over. I think that a lot of people would be interested in this. And I mean, we might even want to know what's going on over there.
And then the process, we burn a bridge with the ruined chain.
I mean, we know how to sell things to people without it getting traced back to us, right?
Probably. Takes a big sigh. It's like, can you download the data without being caught?
I mean, probably.
Like, what kind of odds do you put yourself at?
Probably 9 out of 10.
All right. Well, if we have it, might as well hold on to it for safekeeping. We can download the data and decide how to use it later. I'm happy to help you with that, Torsay. When the time comes, maybe an extra set of eyes will be useful.
All right. Well, I mean, if you want to start, we can probably start pulling over the data now.
All right, but just because we're downloading the data doesn't mean I've decided I want to sell it yet.
So you're saying there's a chance?
There's a chance. I
There's a
don't
chance
want
we
to
give it to someone
completely.
else for free.
I don't want to completely ruin any inroads we've made with the ruined chain here.
Hey,
Maybe
we got him here safely, right? That was our job. If
That
we
was
were
our job.
If we were at the meeting right now, we'd be hearing all this anyway.
That's true. All right, I'll help you. Let's do this quietly.
All right. Well, you take a seat at your.
Turns on obnoxiously loud music.
Yeah. You
My
go-
hacker music.
it's just a bunch of like glam metal. You go
Perfect.
sit at your captain's terminal, and Torsay like sends over what she has set up. You can see it's kind of like a bug that she placed on Kolyan that you should be able to access remotely as long as you're within so far away from it, and you're within range using the ship's sensor range to contact it. Astro, you want to go ahead and make me a pilot check?
Sure. I'll do my.
You're going to have accuracy because Torsay is helping you.
Okay. Yeah, let me bring this up.
And
okay.
if you want to activate any triggers, now would be the time.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely.
Can I help by getting his lucky hacking leg warmers that he wears, listening to this glam metal?
Oh no, I can imagine the two.
So I can use hack, right? Because I'm sort of hacking
yeah.
the data.
Probably, I would guess so.
I can use hack, breaks out an axe.
Let's see. What about act unseen or unheard? Is that more of a physical presence?
Yeah.
That sounds physical.
Let's get.
Yeah, it's about getting
physical.
somewhere or doing something without getting detected. But that's more about infiltrating, getting past cameras, doing things like that.
Yeah, I agree. What about get a hold of something? Let's see. Get a hold of something. This
So
can't be
wealth
used
and
for.
influence.
Yeah, that's more like using. Yeah, it doesn't.
That's like
really
using
apply.
contacts to get a hold of things, or using your money to get a hold of things, or using some leverage to get a hold of things, that kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to cover all my bases. So
Well,
yeah.
you didn't say maybe I can charm it, maybe I can investigate it.
Don't give him ideas.
Might as well just go through your whole list at this point.
Yeah. Investigate. I am charming. I'll if we get caught, I'll
That could be your
I'll
backup role.
yeah,
Sure.
I'll be like, well, gee, I didn't realize.
I'm just a poor country hacker. I didn't know any better.
All right, now which movie did I see? how to
I'll
hack
get
this
I'll get
system?
Astro his suspenders.
Put a chew on a thing of wheat or whatever. All right. So +4 on hack and fix with accuracy, you said?
Yes, accuracy
All right.
from Torsay.
So I'm gonna roll it up. Got a 27.
Well, that worked well, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was the music that did it.
Was that
Yeah.
maximum? Almost maximum.
No.
I
was
rolled a
close,
19 without modifiers.
Oh wow.
+4 for my hack and fix and +4 for my accuracy.
Nice. So yeah, Torsay is able to pull over the data and get the stream coming in of like everything that's been going on at the meeting. In fact, you did so well. You've already gotten what's happened so far at the meeting. In case you want.
Can we get a live feed?
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Do you want her to open a live feed of what's going on?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So Astro pulls
Now
up.
that we're in, might as
Yeah.
well.
Well, I was kind of on the fence about doing this, but now that we're in the middle of it, I might as well just go for it. He's in character now. He's like Well, I mean, if I'm a hacker, I guess I should be hacking things.
He
Yeah.
does have his leg warmers on.
Yeah.
Puts on. He takes off his movie star sunglasses and puts on his hacker sunglasses. He's
They're-
different pairs depending on the job.
They're just
And
different
they're nearly
tints.
exactly the same, but one has like a black accent on it.
Yeah, so you pull up an image of the screen, and yeah, it is like almost like a boardroom, right, inside of that ship over there. You can tell that like probably many people are supposed to be able to fit inside of it, but yeah, it's mostly Talayla, and there is a kind of very security-ish looking person just like behind her to one side, tall and lithe, wearing like full combat armor, a rifle like strapped around his shoulders that he's holding like to his chest, with like dark hair, short cut, and a burn scar going across like over one temple that like prevents the hair there from growing. And he's just like standing there very grimly, like almost like he's staring right at the camera, right? But you know that the camera is attached to Kolyan's like shirt jackets. So you're like, oh, that's also why it feels like the camera's a little bit lower than you would expect to be, right?
Yeah.
Because like you're used to looking at eye level, but the camera's shooting from like lower than that. And Talayla is at the other end of the table. And you log in at the moment. She's like, yes, you've said that before, but we've told you that, well, I don't know if it's worth moving into that sector. With all the trouble you've been having there recently, the increase in piracy, the groups are out of control. You can't even keep your own groups in line. And yes, it would be nice to branch out, but even the corporates, they've all lost their supply lines because of all the action recently. You've heard what's been going on. And you sense some motion as Kolyan makes some sort of gesture you can't see off camera as he goes, yes, of course, we know of them. They've been targeting largely corporate presidences, so we've been under their influence for now. So I think you'll find that works to our mutual benefit, because I think I have something you're going to want. You hear a click off screen, like someone taking off handcuffs, as a suitcase is placed on the table and slid over to Talayla.
He's going for the bomb.
Yeah. She just goes, what's this? Are you grandstanding now? Power moves are only so effective. As she goes to open the briefcase and pauses in like the middle of her sentence. Where'd you get this? I think you'll find that with all the chaos in the sector, that some things go overlooked. The ruin chain has eyes and hands everywhere. We may not be as built up as some of the other groups in the sector, but you'll find working with us can get you access to things maybe other people overlooked. She like nods. I thought that all known sources of this were documented already. Kolyan just chuckles slightly and says, yes, all known sources. I think that a unknown source would be mutually beneficial to us.
I'm gonna
We
pause
run
this
you what's that?
I'm gonna pause this for a second because in Roll20 I made the joke saying that like the signed copy of Red Alert, and the fact that this exact conversation works if you assume it's that, it's too good.
Like, you haven't
too
said
good.
anything so far that would contradict it.
It's just Astro memorabilia.
Yeah.
All the copies have been
Stops her in
destroyed,
her
but
tracks.
this copy.
Where'd you get this?
I'm sorry. I'm cracking up as you're
And
describing
for
this
anyone
unknown
that
thing.
missed it because he started laughing as he's saying it was a signed copy of Red Alert, the
Yeah.
Astro movie. Because I did not make out what he said from laughing while saying it.
I'm sorry.
So, yeah, she looks at the briefcase, and as Kolyan, she's just like staring at it, and she can tell she's kind of like fixated by it a little bit, like it's caught her off guard. Kolyan goes, "We can run you a supply line of this to sweeten the deal. I think a untracked source would go a long way." She closes the briefcase, looks across the table at just above and to the right of the camera. "I think this changes the outline of the deal a little bit." She smiles conspiratorially at Kolyan. "Good job. I think we can find some amenable solutions for working together. I'm going to have to, of course, contact my superiors. I think we're going to be coming to a mutually beneficial arrangement, assuming we both can keep things under control until then." "Yes, of course." And there's some shuffling of papers, some things passed around the room. I mean, as you continue watching, you just see, people moving around. You catch glimpses of like other security personnel in the room.
Oh, they have donuts?
Yeah, there's like, what's weird? All powdered. They didn't get like a variety pack. It's just like a giant case of powdered donuts.
What
And
that's a power move, because like you get milk on your side, but you don't give them milk.
and then you notice that like only like 4 of the donuts are gone. And you look at everyone wearing these crisp black suits and military attire, don't have any powder on them whatsoever. But as the camera turns and you see Cord on the camera, you see that he has powder stains on his shirt. And you're like, Cord ate all the powdered donuts. But yeah, you just see them kind of like concluding their meeting, like shaking hands. Like the facade of Talayla has changed completely. You can tell that as soon as she has noticed that there is like something, exploitable out of this arrangement, she's now all of a sudden on board with trying to make this work. And it's up to you if you want to, keep this feed open. But yeah. That's you kind of logged in right at the end there. And you have a transcript of what was happening earlier in the meeting if you want to review that later.
Okay, yeah. I mean, after they sort of conclude their business, I'll sort of shut off the feed, and I'll say, I gotta ask Kolyan what's in that briefcase. He probably won't tell me though.
Torsay turns around, says, "I don't think you'll have to ask him. I was reading through the transcript while you were watching the feed. I don't know how we didn't hear about this, but I guess we aren't tuned to any of the corporate channels right now, seeing as we're getting all of our supplies below board. Remember that mining run we went on that started all of this?"
Sure.
According to what they were discussing in that meeting, that's been happening all year.
Really?
There are 12 confirmed cases of destroyed corporate mining installations over the last year.
At this point, Dyne will walk up on deck having heard that, and he's like, "Sounds like the Noblest Oblige has been busy over the last year."
There's no reports about what any of these mines were mining. So if I had to guess, it probably means they were all mining the same thing.
Wait, you think the Noblest Oblige is involved in all of them?
Isn't it the Noblest Affair?
Yeah, I guess you're right. It is a Noblest Affair.
Evelyn's just there the whole time eating her sandwich, just staying quiet. I couldn't figure out a way to get myself in.
Now that you're all there, just Evelene eating the oddest looking sandwich. It's just like a big fillet of tuna between 2 pieces of white bread.
There's cheese. There's cheese.
Oh.
And then Evelyne's like, "Okay, where's my sardine juice?"
Immediately, Artemis triggered an asteroid.
Fucking
You just see the
asteroid
distance.
flies at the other ship.
So, what, you guys been spying on the meeting now? Is that what's going on?
Well, I mean, that wasn't my intention from the beginning, but since pieces were set in motion, I'll just say.
So you're saying that's a box of iridium, then, isn't it?
That would be my guess.
Well, it was already one of the most valuable ores in the universe before, and ever since our actions, it's probably skyrocketed in value.
So we're thinking maybe this connects the ruin chain to the Noblesse affair, or could these other mining incidents be separate from our mission?
I don't think they've been connected to the Noblesse affair. I think it's more likely they found another source that the corporations either don't know of or are selling to them.
Or they've been involved in these blowing up these mines. Maybe.
But it seems to me more likely that the ruined chain have access to another source that that most people don't know about.
I mean, this is all of a sudden making things make more sense. Remember when all of a sudden fuel got way more expensive this last year?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a pain.
Yeah, we had to go eat into our food budget there.
As you take another bite of your sandwich.
Yes.
We had to settle for the tuna rations.
Well, it makes sense. If you destroy the sources of fuel prices are probably going to skyrocket. And with corporations being as finicky as they are with their locations of fuel, then, well, it would make sense that having, well, a location where corporations don't know that it exists being valuable.
For sure.
Well, I'm okay with breaking the corporation's command over the supply chain.
Well, it could be more dangerous than that too, though. I don't know if we should do anything with this information.
It might be a good to know, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat here.
Well, I'm not saying this is the case, but this is what I would do in this case if I was on the other end. If I was planning some sort of coup or attack on a corporation, I would want to bleed them out first. Take their resources, make sure they don't have as much as possible before you do anything. And if people are doing this, then there might be something bigger coming down the line.
Yeah, if we sell this information, it could make us some money, but it could also have some bad unintended consequences.
You mean like painting a giant target on the DBC, bigger than before?
Well,
actually, this information.
That's sort of my thoughts, yeah.
I mean, that's assuming we can't sell it anonymously, but I'm thinking more like the larger scale sort of political implications.
Look, the most valuable source of this information to go to is the corpos.
That is true.
Would you say, sorry, I didn't hear you, Jay.
The most valuable source for the information is to the corporations.
Oh, right.
So I don't think we should do anything with it at the moment. If anything, this is a bargaining chip if they ever, catch wind or catch us or something like that.
Yeah, I don't want to sound too mercenary about this, but we're in the black books of some fairly powerful groups. If we wanted to, this could be something that erases that bad history a little bit. I don't think we want to go there. Well, I mean, we've been watching over our shoulders for a year now because we were afraid of them coming at us, but I mean, I don't want to throw these guys under the bus for no reason, but I have to bring up that, we'd be safer.
Yep.
That is certainly something to consider. Speaking of Manticorp, You said that there were 12 mines that had been taken out over the past year. Were all of them Manticorp, or were they just various different corporations?
No, not all of them were Manticorp. It seems like a little less than half were Manticorp. 5 of them. Including, by the way, the one you all were involved in.
So they've been bleeding pretty heavily.
Manticorp has a strong presence in this sector. I mean, I'm not too surprised.
Were we the first?
Yeah, that was the first one in the books.
Well, I won't say that. It feels like our actions have at least emboldened the actions of those who are working against the corporations.
And we know who to come to in case we need, some resources.
I guess if we know the ruined chain has access, if we need to somehow manufacture military hardware, they're the ones to go to for the raw resources right now.
We also have the option of selling this information to the Noblesse Affair. I have a feeling this is probably something they would be interested in.
They might be the perpetrators
That's
of it.
that's us. Cause I'll say, yeah.
I mean, if that's the case, then selling it to them would be kind of telling them we're going to sell them secrecy. And I don't know how they'll respond to that. They seem like the type to silence things that are trouble.
This is true.
Plus, they're in cahoots with the aliens. I still believe.
She leans back in her chair a little bit and puts her hand over her face, and then she just says loudly enough for everyone to hear, "I almost wish we didn't know this. I feel like even knowing this is dangerous."
Hey, you're the one that put the bug on him.
You said yes.
But you started this whole chain of events.
You encouraged me after the fact, but you did.
Well, we have it now. Let's just sit on the information, let it marinate a little bit. Let's focus on...
I'll just sigh and go, it could be worse. At least he wasn't trying to bargain with Astro memorabilia.
No.
So put the information on a UMD. I'll wipe it from our computer.
No, I forgot, UMDs exist in this universe.
They are.
That's our floppy disk.
Yeah, they're the format for any external storage information. So yeah, Torsay loads a little cassette CD UMD into the terminal, and you see a progress bar. She loads all of the data, including the video, the transcript.
See progress bar instantly go to 90% and then just stop, and then the actual load begins.
99%.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. Yeah.
It actually goes back a few percentage points. It's like, wait, what?
89. 69. Nice. 89. But yeah, then Torsay takes out the UMD and kind of flips it across the hull at you, Rock.
All right, I'll take it then. Put it with my other one that I have.
All right, well, for now, put it out of your minds. Let's just focus on completing the mission at hand and getting paid.
Oh, that's a contact. Kolyan's calling us.
Okay, on screen.
All right, as you see a moving image of Kolyan as he seems to be boarding his vessel as well. Went better than I expected. We should have an agreement. I'm getting on board right now. I'm going to... where should I go? Yours or mine? We'll be leaving after we have a few moments to just say our goodbyes.
Excellent. Glad to hear it. I'd feel comfortable if you came to our ship until we have safely deposited you on a planet or place of your choosing. But I'm very glad to hear the negotiations went well.
All right. Well, I'll be right over then. After we arrive, we just have to wait. I need to hear back from to Layla to just confirm that she's heard back from her superiors and everything's good to go before we leave. But the negotiations are over, and we've drawn up a temporary contract.
It was the Ruin Chain, and I'm sorry, what was the other group's name again?
Contraterrene.
Contra.
Yeah, Contraterrene, you have limited information about because they're outside the sector you've been primarily operating in. The information between Astro and Dyne that you've been able to collect on Contraterrene is that they're kind of like a big name operator one sector over. They have their hands in a lot of pies. They're kind of like a, almost like a holding company kind of situation where they're like majority investors in a lot of smaller corporations. And, no one knows, kind of how far their reach is. So that's kind of why they're a little bit of a secretive,
they seem to have like a lot of military
tertiary
prowess.
Yeah, they're a very secretive kind of tertiary operator that seems to be very well funded. But yeah, after a little while, Kolyan will shuttle back over to your ship. After he gets on board, I assume, people go down and meet him as he, disembarks on your ship. He walks up to you, Astro, and just goes to shake your hand. He goes, "Well, good job, Captain. You've successfully made it to the end of our little agreement. You just need to get us all home, and we can celebrate. Possibly by sending some bonus money your way. That information you gave me was extra helpful during that negotiation."
Wonderful. I'm very pleased to hear that. Did you have to use your ace in the hole?
Yes, I did, but it did work quite nicely. I think they won't underestimate the Ruin Chain for much longer.
Well, it's good to have allies like the Ruin Chain, I have to say. Let's get you back safely.
All right, well, let's head back up to the bridge. Hopefully we'll be hearing from them shortly, and we can all get out of this little rocky field.
Sooner the better.
Good to see you didn't explode.
Why would I have exploded?
Oh, well, Astro thought your briefcase was a bomb.
Oh, that was a little joke between us. It's nothing serious.
He slaps his hand on your shoulder a little too hard, Astro, as he's laughing. And he goes, "Yeah, don't believe everything you hear about us. We're not part of the Assertives."
Astro laughs and then shoots a glare at Rock.
Do I know what he's talking about when he says assertives?
What you have become aware of, just as you've been operating over the last year in this sector, is that the Ruin Chain, especially because you have a little bit of a closer tie with your contact at the radio, Rock, Tunjon. There are subgroups in the Ruin Chain. It is not a monolith in terms of an organization. There are dissenting groups, dissenting voices that make up its group. And the Assertives are kind of one of the groups that's made itself known as a little bit more of a kind of like... They're the people that you see constantly making action against corporations, even when perhaps their losses were higher than maybe the worth of the mission, right? They're the kind of people who've been out there making trouble, but have been, taking trouble in return a lot for the Ruin Chain. They're probably the most aggressive branch of the Ruin Chain.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you guys head back up to the bridge, and after a little while, you're all waiting. Kolyan just is evaluating the field, And Torsay goes, hey, Astro, come take a look at this.
I'll go over to Torsay's station.
Hey, Astro, those drones that you made, remember, is there like a screen to follow us? And we're back. Another recording malfunction. Astro decided he didn't want to be here for problems, so he turned off his mic and ran away. But we all
it's just
corralled
too
him
much
back.
responsibility.
Yeah, we all corralled him back and told him he has to keep playing, or else we're going to have to, pull up someone from the sidelines to replace him. And his star power won't allow that to happen. So
I threatened to throw away his movie collection.
Oh no.
But anyway, where we left off is Torsay called you over to her terminal and said, hey, Astro, you know those drones you left behind? We lost contact with them when we went through the gates. They stopped, they weren't strong enough to broadcast here.
Sure.
Except for their termination signals.
Their termination signals?
Yeah, it's like the last strong signal they send out if they were to explode or something.
Is this a hypothetical you're positing to me, maybe?
No, we got those. They're gone now.
Shit. All right. Well,
is there a problem, Captain? Kolyan says as he steps up.
Not sure. The probes we left behind to detect if we were being followed. We got signals that they might have been blown up. We could be being followed.
That's not encouraging.
Well,
aren't we leaving?
Yes. Well, do we tell them, I guess? We're kind of waiting on their signal to leave.
I don't see why we wouldn't.
Tell
them and leave.
Hey, guys. I think it might be too late. As she points to the screen, a bunch of contacts appear at the edge of the system.
I'll say, can the Contratarian help us?
I mean, we can maybe ask them. As I'll try to open up, beep. As you start receiving a signal. Torsay pulls the signal up on screen, and it is a face you don't recognize. Again, it's kind of just like a shoulder-length shot. There's a person in the front of the screen who has like a dark background. You can't tell where they are. It looks like cramped wherever they are. It's just like a monitor light that is like reflecting on their face that you can just barely see them by. They're wearing like combat fatigues that look, pieced together piecemeal from like different pieces of outfit. And it's like a youth, like a younger person who but just has the face of someone who's seen everything. This kind of like almost hollowed look. And there's these huge bags under their eyes. And he looks into the monitor and just says, "It has come to the Bloom's attention that an unauthorized meeting has been made by one of our overly paternal members. And I don't think everyone's going to agree with the terms. Now, if we all just want to put down our weapons and say goodbye, we're going to take him in now." And then the screen cuts off.
Jeez, didn't even let us respond.
No, it was just a transmission.
Wait, how did they even know the terms so that they didn't know they weren't going to agree to them?
Kolyan looks pensive. This isn't good.
Would they say the blooms? Comes to Bloom's attention?
The Bloom is another subgroup in the Ruin Chain. They're recent, but they've been gaining a lot of members who are disillusioned with the little progress we've been making over the past few years. They've wanted to do some a little bit more extreme measures. And let's just say that they don't like me too much.
Well,
yeah, this is really embarrassing.
Be that as it may, their dislike of you aside, why would they have a problem with your negotiations? This only seems to help the Ruin Chain as a whole.
As a principle, they're against getting outside interests involved. Contratarian to them is just another version of a corporation, just another outside interest. We've tried talking to them. We've tried making them see that sometimes you need to shake hands with people you don't exactly want to in order to get things done, but they have other things in mind, apparently. Trust me, we've tried to handle this internally, but he motions towards the view screen. This is where we are right now.
Torsay, how many contacts do we have?
Lots. This isn't a couple large ships. This is a peasants' militia. I don't even know what to make of them. They're all so small. Not a single one of them's even the size of our ship. I don't even know what they expect to do here.
Do we need to ready the sardines?
Captain, we're going to want to get out of here as soon as possible. They may look small, but...
Can we activate our blink drive?
Not until we're... of course it goes. I mean, not until we're at the edge of the system. We're still under the effect of the gravity well. We don't need the gate to be open or go through it, but we can't get there from here.
Can we go at the opposite end of the system, away from them?
We can, but we'll be burning sublight across the entire system. I don't know.
It's not a quick journey.
It's not a quick journey, and these things might be faster than us. So it's up to you, Captain. Kolyan looks at you, says, "What do you think your capabilities are? We're gonna have to make a decision here."
I'll turn to Dyne, and I'll say, your Artemis backup plan, can that be used as a distraction?
I suppose it can, but it depends on the size of the ships and when they arrive.
Wait. His plan?
Fine. Eveline's plan.
Thank you.
All right, Evelene, you take over then.
Yes, I do think, and she'll just pound her fist on the desk because she wants to seem like she's important. I do think they can be a distraction.
I think this is the first I've heard of this plan. What have you guys been doing?
Something with an asteroid. I'm not privy to all the details. Can you explain, Evelene?
We took Eveline's grappling hooks and strapped it to some asteroids so we can launch it at people.
Astro, we explained this earlier. You were eating a sandwich.
I might have only half listened.
But yeah, it's as I have not been doing the voice the entire session. It's as Dyne put it. We're just gonna launch a bunch of asteroids at them. I mean, they're small enough. I don't think they'd survive the collision.
Well, we do that. We make a run for the edge and activate our blink drive. At least if we're not headed straight for the gate, we might be able to put some distance between us and them.
Beep. It looks like we're being contacted by Contratarian.
Yeah, put them on screen. Maybe they can help.
On screen, you see Talayla appear back on screen, looking very disappointed. Well, Kolyan, I thought you said you had the distance in hand. Kolyan kind of steps into the captain's position again in front of you, Astro, unless you stop him.
That's fine.
All right. And he says, I thought so too. I don't know how they learned of our meeting place, but I think you'll agree that the value of our deal should survive impact with this, right? She, glumly, nods her head. Agreed, if we both get out of here. We'll be leaving, Kolyan. Contact us in a few weeks once you've taken care of your internal issues.
I'll step in and say, we could use the assist.
And who are you?
I'm the captain of this ship, Astro Jamin.
Ah, the bodyguards. I'm sure you could. Why don't you complete your mission and get along? We have other things to deal with.
If we fail to get Kolyan out safely, your entire negotiation might have been for naught.
She steeples her fingers in front of her as she leans back in her chair. Oh, and you seem to be negotiating on his behalf now? What do you give us for our interference in these internal ruined chain affairs? If this other group comes out on top, then it seems like we don't have a deal to protect.
Well, exactly. That's why it's in your best interest to make sure they're neutralized before they become any more trouble. If you show them right here, right now, that you're not going to stand for them trying to take control over the ruined chain, they realize they'll be outmatched. The deal's already done.
I suppose part of this deal will involve us helping you clean house, Kolyan. I don't appreciate using our forces as a maid service. Fine. We're making a break directly towards the edge of the system. We're going to go through this chain and probably divert a fair amount of their forces. Follow in our wake and deal with the ones that come at you, and if we can get out of here alive, the deal's still on.
Very good. We also have Ace up our sleeve, and I'll explain the details about our asteroid flinging operation.
That's some good forethought on you, then. Yes, we'll wait for them to get a little bit closer so we can use it as a distraction to cover our escape, then.
Excellent. Then looks like we're all in sync here.
Try to keep up, mercenary. And the screen turns off.
Oh, no one says goodbye around here, do they?
No.
Just like in the movies.
Dyne will just kind of stand up and he'll just look at Evelene and go, Evelene, let's get in our mechs. I have a feeling we're gonna be deploying soon.
Yeah, I'll warm up the mechs.
Am I piloting for this?
Oh.
So I'm gonna show my hand a little bit here, Jay, to say that as we end this session, you guys are able to see the forces as they're coming a little bit closer. It is a swarm of enemies, a lot of MCs with spacefaring capabilities, escorting basically what looks like almost like a peasant's militia of hobbled together bombing ships. Larger than your mechs, but smaller than a larger ship. You can tell as they get closer and as Torsay scans them, they're going to be trouble if they get too close to either the DBC or the Relst. They may not be almost, super durable like the larger ships are. But if they can unload the payload they apparently have on hand, it can seriously injure or disable either the Relst or the DBC. So starting next session, you all are going to have to run an escort mission through the asteroid field to get the Relst and the DBC out of the edge of the asteroid field safely, so you can make a break towards the edge of the system.
Okay.
All right. Well, everyone, we'll see how the pilots get themselves out of this one and see what they're up against at the start of the next episode. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Later.
Bye.